I fish a couple different ways to fish a Senko. All right. The number one way that I'm going to show you is a Wacky rig. Okay. This is a weightless Wacky rig. And this is how you want to fish it, just like this. Okay. So we got our, when you put your Senko on there, you don't want to put it on. All right, so here's the hook I'm going to use. It's a little weedless Wacky rig hook, okay? Take your Wacky rig hook, you're going to pull this weed guard away from it. Take your your Senko, and you're going to pin it on to where they're perfectly even on both sides, okay? See how that's falling? Now this is going to fall just like this. It's very enticing. They're not going to be able to stand it, all right? So when you rig it on there just like that, you take this weed guard and you press it back and slide it on the hook just like that, okay? So what that's going to do is that's going to make this weedless. So if you feel this, you don't feel the hook at all, and then when they grab this bait, that weed guard's going to fall back and they're going to get it in their mouth, okay? That also, it prevents it from getting hung up a lot, and it will also allow you to fish it in grass if you want to. Probably the number one way to fish a weightless Senko like this, Wacky rigged, is to fish it around docks, okay? So that's the number one way, right here, Wacky rig, just like that. That's how it works. Make sure your bait's even, okay? The second way is a weighted Wacky rig. So I put the bait on the same way, okay? It's even on both sides. It's going to fall the same way, except now it's going to fall faster because it has a little bit of a weight to it. This one's probably a 1/16 or something like that ounce weight. So it's also got your weed guard here, which is going to protect it from cover. Same thing with this one, it's just weighted. You want to fish this around docks. You can even fish it on sand or rock or anything that doesn't have grass, because this is going to get hung up in the grass way too much, okay? That's number two. That's the second way to fish it, weighted. They're pretty much the same. One's weightless, one's weighted. So you got them just like this, okay? All right. The third way is your standard Texas rig, where I use a 3/0 EWG hook. This is a trocar hook, probably one of the best. The reason why I use the trocar is because it's a lot thicker. Your Gamakatsus are really thin, and I have broke a ton of them, okay? This one's really thick. There's no flex to it. It's the perfect hook for fishing a Senko. Okay, so the third way we're going to do is Texas rig. Now, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to take this piece just like this. You're going to go up about that far. Then you're going to pull it out just like that. Slide it all the way up onto the tip, right where your knot would be, and then you're going to take this bait and you're going to bend it back just like that and stick the hook in it. That way that's riding perfectly straight, just like that, okay? That's how you're going to fish it Texas rig. You can fish this in anything. Grass is probably one of the best. You can throw it just like this. If you're going to throw it like this, if you're not patient enough to wait for this bait to fall all the way to the bottom, there's a little trick that you can use. Take a little nail weight. This is a 1/32 ounce nail weight, and you're just going to take it and stick it right in the tail, just like that, and push it as far in as you can go until it's all the way in the bait, okay? Just like that. Don't worry about this piece sticking out. It looks fine. It'll be fine. Now what this will do is it's going to make that bait glide backwards. So instead of it head falling this way, it's going to make it fall just a little bit different. You know, it's not something they're used to seeing a whole lot. So this is a killer technique too. This is awesome. When you're struggling to get a bite, throw this weightless around pads or grass or any kind of heavy structure. I mean, trees, whatever, docks, anything. And this is a good way to catch a lot of fish, okay? Standard Texas rig with a nail weight. If you don't want to use the nail weight, okay, so if you take the nail weight out, if you want to fish it on the bottom, you're going to use just a you know, just use a light tungsten weight. Tungsten because you're going to feel it a lot better than you will lead, and it's also a ton of a lot smaller. So use the tungsten, okay? You're going to fish it just a normal Texas rig, just like that. Now, normally what I do, Texas rig, I don't peg the sinker. And the reason for that is because this sinker is going to slide up and down your line. So it looks like a piece of the bait is following the sinker. So it looks like the sinker is something that this bait is trying to eat. So when it slides and then this follows it, and it creates a lot of reaction strikes that way, okay? Texas rig. It's the third way I'm going to show you. Fourth way, I'm sorry. Now, the trick that or the bonus tip that I wanted to tell you was when you're fishing in the springtime, you'll notice if you're fishing a Senko, usually I fish it Texas rig in the summer or the spring, okay? So when you're fishing it in the springtime, and you'll notice that the fish are getting the bait, but they're not getting it all the way in their mouth. They're just picking it up to move it off the bed. So they'll grab it like this and they'll just move it, and you'll pull and you'll miss them, all right? Every time. The bait, half the bait will be ripped off, or they'll pull the bait off the hook like this, and you'll notice it's coming back, but you know you're getting a bite, okay? So the trick that I want to show you that not many people know about this, okay, is to take a tiny, tiny drop shot hook, all right? Just a little tiny drop shot hook, just like this. Very, very, very small. As small as you can get, the better, okay? And then you're gonna tie your hook to it, to the line, just like this. I'm using like a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader for this, okay? Then take about 5 inches or so and tie a polymer knot to your hook, right? All right, so let's tie a polymer knot. Okay, so now once we have the polymer knot on there, pull it tight. And then you're gonna cut your tag end off. So let's cut the tag end off, and then I'm gonna show you a trick. Okay, now put your bait back up on there. Okay, so it's riding straight again. Okay, now you got this tag end with this hook. Okay, normally I want to make this a little bit, a lot shorter than what it is. I don't know if you can see that line or not, but there's line coming to this hook. Okay, now actually let me make this shorter because just so I can show you. All right, so let me tie this hook to it one more time so it's a little bit shorter. And it doesn't matter what knot you use, I just wrap it a couple times and pull it tight. You can use a polymer knot for it too. Usually when I wrap this, I'll use like 6 or 7 wraps. All right, and then you slide it back. Slide it back through. Grab the tag in and pull it tight all the way on there, okay? All right, so now it's a lot shorter. That's what more like it. Now take the hook, and where they're grabbing it at is gonna be in the very back of the bait. So make sure you hook this, just hide the hook back here in the very back of the bait like that, okay? Now what's gonna happen is, this bait, it's not going to lose action. Don't worry about it. The fish will never see this line. It will look like it's not even there, okay? Now what's going to happen is when they go to grab the back of that bait, okay, and you pull, they're going to get this hook in their mouth. So if they're not getting the whole bait, they're getting the very back of the bait. They're going to get this hook every time, and you're going to catch them, okay? This is a trick not many people know about, and it's golden. Mainly in the springtime, this is when they'll do it, but if you notice sometimes that they're getting the bait and they're just not getting it all the way, take your little drop shot hook, as small of a drop shot hook as you can get, put it in the back of the bait, okay, just like so. All right, and then you're gonna catch more fish that way. All right, that's a tip that you're gonna love to have come springtime or when they're short striking the bait. I promise you, okay? Now, I got one more thing for you guys. I'm going to do a giveaway, and I'll let my son, he wants to tell you guys about that. So I'll let him tell you about it. So once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to do it, and then I'll do another one too. Every couple thousand, I'll do another one, and it's going to be one you don't want to miss, all right? Cool. Thanks for
Hey
watching.
guys, don't forget to subscribe to my dad, because once he gets 1,000 subscribers, I will randomly pick somebody to go fishing with him for a day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below.